If ever a game of football summed up exactly who Manchester United are at the moment, it was that game at the Allianz Arena last night. They were all over the place. They did some things that were very impressive. Scoring 3 goals away in Munich deserves our commendations, but they were equally lacking in so much. They were lacking in identity. They were lacking in concentration. They were lacking in determination. And Erik ten Hag blamed it afterwards on a combination of many things. Mental fragility. Is that not his responsibility? The glut of injuries? Okay, there isn't much that he can do about that, but he kept using the word determination. And there was certainly such a distinct lack of determination in the way that Manchester United approached the game. So many opportunities to stop Bayern Munich in their tracks, and they never did it. So many players lacking in that quality, that desperation to win. There were so many moments. Pick any off the top of your head. Think of any particular moment and think, how did the Manchester United player in question behave? And compare that to what Roy Keane would have done, or Gary Neville would have done, or David Beckham would have done. It's chalk and cheese. They are so far removed from who they once were. The way that Leroy Sané was able to sort of drift in from the right, gently, delicately, at his own pace, exchange a 1-2 with Kane, and then shoot from the edge of the penalty area that led to the first goal. Look, we all know that Andre Onana should be saving that shot every single day of the week, but he didn't. The easiest thing for us to all do is to pinpoint Onana and focus on Onana and analyse Onana's contribution. The game was over as soon as Onana did that. And yes, on some level, I agree with that. I believe that there is some truth in that statement. And I thought that Onana, whilst he got it wrong, I thought that his conduct afterwards was very impressive. But yes, you cannot give goals away like that at the Allianz and expect to get any change out the game. However, where was the press? How easy was it? Marcus Rashford doesn't really press. Bruno Fernandes doesn't really press. Christian Eriksen, a complete and utter spectator. And it isn't only Onana. There are so many things going wrong on the build-up to that goal. Yeah, of course. Of course, the memes will be Onana and the highlights will be Onana and everything, all the conversation will be around Andre Onana. But it is more systematic than simply Onana letting one go through his body. Like, the run that they are in is atrocious. This is the first time since 1978 when Dave Sexton was the Manchester United manager. Like, you were talking the winter of discontent. Like, it's quite a famous period in England. Like, obviously, before our lifetime, but something that you studied. Trade unions going mad and things like that. Like, it was a bad time for the country. And Manchester United are in a system that is comparable to what they were doing then. Because for the first time since 1978, they have now conceded 3 or more goals in 3 consecutive games. That is an alarming statistic. But more concerning than the number, in my opinion, is the way that the goals are going in. Just think about the goals that have gone in. You know, sometimes someone scores an amazing goal. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Jack Grealish curls one into the top corner. Riyad Mahrez picks out an amazing pass to Kevin De Bruyne, and Kevin De Bruyne picks out an exquisite pass that only he in the Premier League can play. No other footballer can see it. Kevin De Bruyne can play it. And Erling Haaland finishes it off with a plum. Sometimes you hold your hands up and go, that was a good goal. I would say that almost none of the goals that Manchester United have conceded of late are that. All of them are preventable. Pascal Gross scored a wonderful goal. Have you seen the build-up? Have you seen the passive nature of Manchester United's defending? Yes, Pascal Gross scored a wonderful goal. The shimmy before the finish, sending Leandro Martinez flying. He should have done more. But so should literally every single Manchester United player. I'm going to pinpoint Christian Eriksen because he doesn't do enough. And Manchester United are desperate for the return of Mason Mount. I can't really think of a Manchester United team, even the poor Manchester United teams post-Fergie. I honestly can't think of a Manchester United team who have the ability to shoot themselves in the foot in the way that this Manchester United team do. And it's becoming a theme. Think about the goals that they conceded last night. Think about the goal that Danny Welbeck scored. when he was gifted space in the box to score for Brighton on the weekend. And now compare it to Serge Gnabry's goal yesterday. Totally unoccupied, ready to score Bayern Munich's second goal. There's a theme here. And yeah, conceding voluminous goals is a problem. Regularly conceding goals, obviously a problem. But the nature of the goals, I think, is far more troubling. Like, honestly, nobody has to work particularly hard to score against Manchester United. Gnabry's goal, did he have to do something spectacular? Was there a sudden burst of electric pace that nobody could cope with? Not really. Was there smart movement that nobody would be able to predict? Did he lose his man in the most cunning and conniving way? No, not really. It's as simple as this, isn't it? Man United didn't track back. Isn't that what happened? So Serge Gnabry, wonderful player, apart from Tony Pulis, he doesn't agree with that, but Serge Gnabry, brilliant. Look, but did he have to exploit all of the wonderful attributes that he possesses to score that goal? Or did Man United not bother tracking back? Was Christian Eriksen miles away? Was Leandro Martinez and Lindelof too late to detect the danger? Were they lurking and ball watching? Yeah, I think so. Gnabry's in the area. Martinez and Lindelof woke up. But up until that point, what were they doing? And we saw Danny Welbeck afforded a similar generosity on the weekend. Where was Scott McTominay when Danny Welbeck scored? He may as well have been on the Kilburn High Road having a pint in the North London Tavern, because he wasn't where he should have been. And yeah, good finish, Danny Welbeck. Brilliant move, but I'm not doing that, okay? I like Brighton. I love what they're doing. I love the build-up play. Brilliant. But you see the point I'm making here? It isn't about the brilliance of the opposition. It's about the average nature of Manchester United. And yeah, we want to focus on Onana, talk about Onana. And I suppose we're right to, because he was brought into Manchester United on the pretext that he would be an upgrade on David De Gea. I still believe that he is that, but after 6 games, he has conceded 14 goals. And suddenly you start thinking about De Gea and you go, would it have been that bad? Probably would. Look, Onana, it was a howler. And when you relinquish the lead, you give Bayern Munich a goal, you are going to struggle. But I have a feeling that goal is going to cast a long shadow over Manchester United this season. But I do believe it's too easy to focus on Onana, because his mistake is the obvious one. It's the glaring one. It's the highlight. But it wasn't the only one. Rashford, Eriksen, Lindelof. I mean, Lindelof. How am I still saying Lindelof's name? What's the date? 21st of the 9th, 2023. And I've just said the words Victor Lindelof. That is bonkers. That is just ridiculous. Like, there were genuinely, really a lot of bleak days for Manchester United in recent eras, right? Say post-Fergie. A lot of bleak days. But Victor Lindelof, for me, is at the epicenter of many problems. If you kind of highlight where it's gone wrong over years, I always think of Lindelof. I think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign, and I think Victor Lindelof. When you think about the bleak days, right? What would be the worst day for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Manchester United manager? It has to be that 5-0 home defeat to Liverpool, doesn't it? Nothing will cut Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as deep as that. And when I think about where the blame generally existed that day, it was Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. Now, Maguire has been cast aside, cast adrift. People are aware of his deficiencies. He's become a little bit of a punchline. But that game against Liverpool has got to be, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, about, right? 2 years ago. And Victor Lindelof is starting for Manchester United in the Allianz. For a club that are so committed to improving and rejuvenating, the amount of dead wood that hangs about is ridiculous. Truly ridiculous. And it's also ridiculous that a team can go to the Allianz, score 3 and get beat. You must come away with something if you manage to score 3 times in Munich. It's an amazing team that can have the resilience to bounce back and score 3 goals, but also fold at the first whiff of any sort of pressure. It's not the same team. The same team shouldn't exist like this. If you have the resilience and the ability and the wherewithal and the desire to score 3 goals in Munich, how are you the same team that basically capitulates every single time you find yourself a way back into the game? Such a weird night of football. Totally perplexing. Odd. It was Bayern Munich who were slightly complacent, slightly wasteful, but they could have scored, 6 or 7. Manchester United should have definitely taken the lead. Christian Eriksen, oh my God. I think Eriksen is really at the epicenter of their problems, And the second that Mount's fit, he's going to be playing. I know that. You've got to remember, at that point, Manchester United were going really well, weren't they? They were the better team, I think. Look, the howler from Onana obviously set the wheels in motion for it to go wrong. And it was sort of implosion after that. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. And they have some very difficult times ahead, this Manchester United team. Do you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to look up their fixtures. Let's have a look at exactly who they've got. Because they're conceding goals for fun. Burnley, Vincent Kompany, and Palace, Galatasaray. Interesting times for Manchester United, but I just can't get my head around that yesterday. Really, really odd. But I've tried to, rather than just simply review that game, kind of dissect what's going on. So I would really love and appreciate your thoughts. If you would, comment below, let me know what you think. I would be honoured to read them. And if you are new around here, please do consider clicking that subscribe button right this very second. Have a wonderful day.